We are set for action as Rick Randall steps into the center circle. These teams getting together for the 81st time. Southern Illinois with a 51-29 lead in the series, but the Bulldogs won the earlier meeting this year in Carbondale, and it's Southern Illinois winning the tap. They've won 2 in a row. They're coming off a 63-57 win over Northern Iowa on Wednesday night.
And this team, a team that struggled early on in the year, losing a lot in their early conference season despite a decent 8-4 non-conference record, but they're starting to play a little bit better. Barry Hinson's starting to get his guys to understand and recognize what he wants from them.
Carter a steal. Carter with the pass to Clark to try to finish, but the very quick hands of Jeff Early in the way to intercept. And that's the thing that Southern Illinois does well. Their turnover ratio is best in the league. They turn it over 12 times a game. They force almost 16 turnovers a game.
And they don't give you anything easy. The hallmark of this team in years past has been how well they play defensively. They still have a little bit of that. They struggle on the offensive side, but Jeff Early, the guy with the basketball right now, is a great example of that. An undersized player who does all the dirty work on both ends.
Early coming off a 31-point effort a week ago tonight in the bracket buster overtime win over Miami, Ohio. Carter picks up his dribble. Van Diest with a kick for Carter. There's contact and Carter called for the charge.
And you can see the feet of this Southern Illinois Saluki defense. The feet is what's so impressive. They get down low in their stance. Brown Searles draws the charge there.
Barry Henson, the head coach at Southern Illinois, had 9 successful years at Missouri State, 15-5 in his career against the Bulldogs overall. His team was, as you mentioned at one point, 9-15. They'd lost 6 in a row. Got blown out in Illinois State. Came home on a Tuesday night, upset Wichita State, and since then they have been hot. They've won 4 out of 5. Brown Searles tries to save, but the over and back violation will give it to the Bulldogs at midcourt.
And there you just talked about their recent surge. Wichita State, a great win for this program, a hallmark for Barry Hinson to hang his hat on going forward with this program.
Mark Phelps, 5th year head coach of the Bulldogs with 76 victories. 17th year as a head mentor in at least in the college level as an assistant coach and a head coach.
And we saw an emotional Mark Phelps early with these 3 seniors.
Take away by Jeff Early. Early trying to finish and does with a nice scoop shot. Early at age 24, oldest player in the Valley, and he's the one who scores first in tonight's game.
And at just 6'1", Jeff Early plays the 4 position, the power forward position for the Southern Illinois team. Normally you see guys like Jordan Clark, 6'7", maybe even a little taller, 6'8", so he's really undersized. He's a guy who battles.
Barry Hinson calls him the hybrid 4. It's not exactly your traditional look of a power forward, is it?
Very true.
Clark beating Van Diest. Van Diest curling inside, puts it off the glass too strong. Clark trying to save, and does. And it's picked up by Van Diest, and the Bulldogs retain possession. And
we're seeing a lot of energy on both sides, a lot of effort, but a little bit of a sloppy play. Chalk that up to the emotions that go along with being a senior night.
Clark ties the game into pair.
Jordan Clark, the nice move down low in the post. That's really the progression that we've seen out of him as his career, as he's moved in from Drake. When he first got here, he wasn't a guy that you could dump the ball to and score on the post. Even last year, he struggled, missed a lot of layups, was always a great rebounder and defender, but now what you can do with him, you can put him in the post and finish strong with either hand.
There's Mark Jackson on the finish for Southern Illinois, transfer out of Wyoming. Or I should have said Dantiel Daniels of that basket. Hines slices inside, and it's in and out and back in. The Bulldogs tie it at 4. Barry Hinson made the point today in a shoot-around, something you brought up a moment ago about emotions. He says, my team comes in loose. We're the 10th seed. That's not going to change. He said, we're loose. We're relaxed. I hope we play well. But Drake might have a little emotion tonight.
Yeah, because they're playing for something a little different than Southern Illinois. That's a great point, Larry, because they know they're going to be the 10th seed, so they can play with kind of a chip on their shoulder, know that they're in that spoiler role. For Drake, that wanting to get out of that playing game, give themselves a chance, and to want to go out with a win for their seniors weighs a little heavier when things aren't going so well early on.
Daniels turns it over, and the Salukis, a team we mentioned that doesn't very often turn it over, has turned it over 3 times early.
Yeah, and what Drake's done offensively to get their 2 baskets is they've attacked the middle of the paint. So Jordan Clark was the one catching it in the middle of the paint, going up strong with the left hand. We just saw the highlight with Chris Hines. Attack that middle, go through the arms of the Southern Illinois defense, and you got to go up strong against this team.
Bulldogs look for their first lead on the night. Carter takes it to the base. Well covered there by Jackson. Shot clock is at 10. A shot by Van Diest is short. And Southern Illinois doing a good job early rebounding. They get out and rebounded by an average of 2.5 a game. But again, a very short basketball team. Their two tallest starters are only 6'5".
And that's why Dante Daniels, the guy we saw earlier, getting the bucket down low is so important for him, because at 6'5", the tallest member on this team, he doesn't necessarily rebound that well, but what he does is he makes things more difficult on the opponent, because he's someone you always have to keep track of.
Jackson down the lane with the scoop to score.
Wow, what a special move by Jackson there. Knifing through 4 Drake defenders, a hard drive to his right, a nice jump stop, and still enough to get the powerful finish at the rim.
Bulldogs a tough time containing him in Carbondale. He went off for 15 points and 9 rebounds. Also had 6 assists and 3 steals. Great line against the Bulldogs, but Drake won the war on that night, 61-56.
Yeah, and on this offensively challenged Southern Illinois team, he's really the bright spot. He's a guy that you can give the ball to and can create plays.
Southern Illinois call for the foul. We've got a break in the action. Desmar Jackson, an outstanding